Truth Seekers. Welcome the first two games of the divisional round of the 2015-16 playoffs. Today, the Patriots defeated the Chiefs at home, and the Cardinals defeated the Packers at home. And this morning, I did a preview video. If you missed that video, I talked about the theming of Chicago in this year's playoffs and for this year's Super Bowl. In that video, I mentioned how the Arizona Cardinals were originally established in Chicago, and during the game, they paid tribute with this shot right here. They brought up the fact that the Arizona Cardinals were established in 1920 in Chicago, and I said, how about that? How often do you hear them talk about the Chicago Cardinals during an Arizona Cardinals game? Honestly, I didn't know that before this football season and researching this Super Bowl. I learned that this year, and then they brought it up tonight. Making matters even more interesting, in my preview video, I talked about the significance of 46 in regards to Chicago. Notice that tonight's game between the Packers and Cardinals finished with a sum of 46 points and a very bizarre finish, which we're going to get to. The game summed to 46 points, just like Chicago and Gematria sums to 46. I talked about how through the College National Championship, which is rigged, just like the NFL, I said the 85 points was a tribute to the 85 Bears who defeated the New England Patriots 46-10 with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. Ron Rivera played on that Bears team. They went 15-1 in the regular season. This year, he coaches the Carolina Panthers, who went 15-1 as well. And with regards to 46 in this season, the year of Super Bowl 50 is the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. That's because Super Bowls 1 through 4, the AFL and NFL had not merged yet. They merged for the 5th Super Bowl. We're going to talk more about the number 5. Notice this is Super Bowl 50, and numerology 50 is 5 plus 0 equals 5. The 49ers are hosting, who have 5 Super Bowl trophies. We'll be talking more about 5. Because I got a little hunch about something that I learned from tonight's games. Also, with regards to the college championship, Nick Saban, who won with Alabama, earned his 5th college championship. It was the 16th for Alabama in the year 2016. Sports by the numbers, which is what I'm exposing. These games are rigged. It's the WWF. Notice the quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers had 44 attempts. Carson Palmer had 41 attempts. This is interesting because Wisconsin has Gematria 44. In week 2, the only date numerology of 44 this past season, the only two teams from the only two 44 states, Wisconsin and Georgia, won with games summing to 44 points. Last season, a special 44 tribute for 2 teams on the only week with 44 numerology as well. More evidence of sports by the numbers. You follow these patterns over the years, you see what's up. Carson Palmer had 41 attempts. In my preview video, I talked about how 41 was a big number in the prior 2 playoff meetings between these same teams. Green Bay equals 41. We're about to talk about the Hail Mary play from the 41-yard line at the end of the game. Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Gematria also sums to 85, and the 85 Bears out of Chicago have a connection to what's going to happen next week, I believe. Larry Fitzgerald, the veteran of the Cardinals, had a very big game, 8 receptions for 176 yards, including the winning touchdown in overtime to make it 26-20. But let's get to that Hail Mary play. This is how the NFL is so much like the WWF. So again, in the preview video, I said to watch out for the number 41 in this game. From the 41-yard line, there was a Hail Mary with no time left that happened seconds after they showed the highlight of the Green Bay Detroit Lions game from the regular season where Green Bay won at the end with a last-second Hail Mary. I have a video on this play showing how it was rigged. They called that play the Miracle in Detroit. Miracle is a word with 61 gematria. That was a 61-yard touchdown pass. Here, let's go back and look at the 61-yard pass a little bit more carefully, too. So get this, Truth Seeker. That game, Green Bay won 27-23 with the last second play, a sum of 50 points in the year of Super Bowl 50. Earlier this year, the Packers lost to the Lions at home for the first time in about 2 decades. And they lost on a date with 61 numerology. 61 is a special number. It's the God number in Jewish gematria. Words such as church and miracle have gematria of 61. That sum of 50 points, again, is interesting because it's the year of Super Bowl 50. When you write out 50, it sums to 66. NFL in Jewish gematria equals 66. The Packers were in the first Super Bowl and won it at the end of the 66 season. First Super Bowl, Super Bowl 1 over the Chiefs. Notice the Packers and the Chiefs were both eliminated today, the winners of Super Bowl 1. That miracle play came exactly 66 days before the Super Bowl against Detroit. So this play was a theme for the Super Bowl and also probably a preview for what we saw tonight, the way the game ended. So now let's go back and look at this. So check this out, Truth Seeker. This is how the play began, the 41-yard Green Bay miracle tonight. It began with 5 seconds on the clock. From the 41, this is how the play transpired. Aaron Rodgers had to roll back. He got just enough time to throw it with pressure on him. You see it right there. He's about to get hit. He just chucked the ball off. Look at the defense, Truth Seeker. Just like in the Detroit play, the defense lined up in the back of the end zone behind the receiver. They stayed behind the receiver. They gave him a chance to jump up and catch the ball. He caught it. Notice it was number 83 that caught it. 83, a special number in football. Those of you who follow my work know this. The score was 13-20, a sum of 33 points, a very important number to the Freemasons. Remember, this game was on the 33rd parallel in Glendale. Glendale has a gematria of 33. Today's date numerology, January 16th, 2016, a date with 33 numerology. The G on the side of the Green Bay helmet is the same G that's in the middle of the compass and square, the Freemason symbol. The Freemasons created football. The Freemasons are very much obsessed with the number 33. In Francis Bacon gematria, G represents 33, capital G that is. The way that system works is lowercase a through lowercase z is 1 through 26. Z is the 26th letter of the alphabet, A the first. Uppercase A through uppercase Z is 27 through 52, so uppercase G, 33. A whole lot of 33 riding on this game. At the end of the play, he didn't secure it real well. It got punched out by the defender. They easily could have ruled it incomplete based on the replay. If it had been overturned, fans wouldn't argue. They'd say, oh yeah, it got knocked out. He didn't have it very long. But they ruled it a touchdown. So the game went to overtime with 40 points. What's interesting about 40 in Arizona is they both have gematria of 84. Another number important to this nation, United States of America, equals 84. As for number 83, even before making this miracle catch, the last 2 passes of the game before that were thrown to him. Remember, the word football equals 83. The best QB draft class ever is the class of 83. Aaron Rodgers is born in 83 himself. The point I meant to make about this, Truth Seeker, is if he didn't make the catch and the game just ended, I think it would have been okay for the NFL because it would have ended at 33 points, another number that's symbolic. 46 is just icing on the cake because of the Chicago theming. Then bringing up the Chicago Cardinals as the original home of the Arizona Cardinals. Anyhow, before the miracle catch, he also caught a bomb to take him to midfield from backed up in the end zone. And just before that, they made a big deal about him getting interfered with and the refs not throwing a flag. The reason I think the refs didn't throw a flag is because they knew there'd be more time to make more plays, and they needed it to be a last-second play. I think if they'd thrown the flag here, it might have set it up too early for the finish they wanted. You know, these things are scripted, planned endings. Oh yeah, and at the end of overtime, Larry Fitzgerald almost scored on a very long play that would have been very much like the play he scored on against the Steelers in Super Bowl 43 7 years ago. The play that looked like it was going to be the cover of Sports Illustrated until the Steelers drove down the field, scoring in the back right corner of the end zone. And we're going to get to the way this game opened, too. Something I just documented during the game. They showed 11 plays, 66 yards. Remember, the Packers won the Super Bowl at the end of the 66 season. Halftime was a score of 6-7. The Packers won the first Super Bowl at the end of the 66 season. The first Super Bowl was played January 15th, 67, a date with 83 numerology. Again, the gematria of football. It's the date of Super Bowl I. Tributes, Truth Seeker. At the end, it really seemed like Green Bay tried to set up the field goal for Arizona to make it 20-13, which was no surprise. You could just see how the end of the game was scripted. I honestly didn't see the heroic finish coming. When it was at 33, it made perfect sense, but then the way it all rolled out, it made even more sense. You know what I mean? You understand this numerical language. You see how they're putting these games together. In the third quarter, the score was 13-7. A lot like 137, which is the 33rd prime number. Remember all this 33. Also in the game, just after they showed this, they asked if Carson Palmer might win his first playoff game as a pro. It's interesting to note that the Chicago Cardinals were established 96 years ago. The word Freemason equals 96. Remember, it's all Freemasons doing all this scripting and using this secret language of gematria. This is something the Freemasons practice, not people in the mainstream. Carson Palmer's full name is Carson Hilton Palmer, name with 96 gematria, and don't miss that middle name with the 33. Chicago Cardinals, CC 33. The first score of the game was also comical because it was a tribute to Super Bowl 43. The Cardinals lost with a touchdown to the back right corner of the end zone. This game began with an 8-yard touchdown pass to Michael Floyd. Can you make that out? The 8 yards? I think 8 is significant. Here's why, Truth Seeker. 8 has gematria of 31. Steelers has gematria of 31. The Steelers defeated the Cardinals with a pass to the back right corner of the end zone in Super Bowl 43. Madden this year, in their preseason, predicted that the Super Bowl would be Steelers and Cardinals rematch, and a lot of people think that's what it's going to be because last year the Madden prediction got the Super Bowl right, and it got the score perfect. 28-24, Patriots over Seahawks. Notice the first drive was an 11-play drive for 42 yards. Remember, Freemason the small way equals 42. Freemason numerology show out if you know what you're seeing. Michael Floyd has name gematria of 59, number stamped on Black Americans. Also 113, another very special number on special athletes. Michael Floyd, major college star, major NFL star.